South Central British Columbia probably has the best quantity of quality lakes possibly anywhere. We hooked up with Paul Adams from Lure of the Lakes Guiding Service to experience the lakes near Princeton, and were we ever in for a big surprise. Not only are there numerous excellent lakes, but Paul is a trained French chef by trade. Combine great fishing with great eating, and you get the lure of the lakes. And that's today on Sport Fishing on the Fly.
The first fish of the day, actually. We just got out here. Had me rods, Paul's into one. So what'd you get him on?
It's on a little number 14 Peacock Herl and silver rib prominent.
Oh, very nice. So we saw a whole bunch of black ones coming off today already. They're all over in the shoreline, and mainly black, probably in a size 14, silver rib. Working really good, so that's what Paul's put on here. Got a Peacock Herl body, a little silver rib, and we happen to see a few cruising through the shallows. Not quite ready yet. Every time you think they're ready, they're just not quite ready. And I see you got the strike indicator on. So what we're doing today is we're actually going to hopefully show you a bunch of chironomidding techniques again. We've got the dry line. Paul's got a dry line set up, small strike indicator on top of his fly line. And you probably got 6 feet, 7 feet of line.
Maybe 8 feet.
Maybe 8. We're only fishing in 10 feet of water and the fish are cruising in the shallows.
Just about ready.
Well, a little tougher than a belly bull. You see, I look like the Cadillac high profile here. You got the, well, you need that for portability with your guide service. Oh, there he is. Oh, nice fish.
Nice fish.
That's a dandy. So now what kind of fish are they in here? I think they stock
We
camels.
got black water in here.
Black water?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get a look at that guy. Oh yeah, that's a nice one.
Nice fish.
That's a nice healthy fish. Boy, he gave you a good fight.
He did.
There he goes.
Nice scrappy fish.
On. Excellent. Good way to start the day. Right
Excellent.
On. Paul was telling us that there's 50 lakes in this area to pick from. It's all around Princeton, about an hour from Princeton. You have 50 lakes to pick from. They're all stocked annually. They all contain large fish. You can get them up to 24-inch fish, or you know, you're going to get a few of those, but you know, the average fish is probably 16 to 18 inches. And this guy, oh, he's got some weight to him. Wow. Oh, man. That is a nice fish. The Lure of the Lakes. Great name for an outfitting company. And these lakes up here are really undiscovered. I mean, this whole Princeton area, not utilized at all. We've been having a good talk with Al, one of the COs up here. And he was telling us that these lakes get stocked annually quite heavily, and there's plenty of fish, and no one really takes advantage of it. And that's the one tough thing about chironomidding. If you've got about 16 feet of leader on, you got to reel it all up. Now the nice thing is there's no indicator on there, so oh, look at that fish. Now that is a brute, and he's just barely hooked right on the side of the lip. He's not ready yet. Oh man, boy, oh boy, he's being tough. Look where he's hooked, Grant. He's right barely hooked. Oh man, I can't fit him in my net. There he is. Oh, now that net is 20 inches long. That's a 20-inch fish. That is just a toad. Wow. So let's give everybody a good look at this guy. He's just barely hooked. Again, barbless hooks. We'll just pop it out, clear the line. Now you will gotta see this. Now look at that fish. Is that a beauty or what? That is just a gorgeous fish. 20 inches, real fat, healthy fish. And let him go. Oh, he gave me a good fight. And he wants to go. Oh, and there he goes. Well, you know what we're going to do? This fly has been so effective so far. We're going to go to the bench and tie it. It's a little black chironomid. It's got a few special features on it, but you have to wait and see. So let's go to the bench and we'll tie one up for you. Hi everyone, and welcome to the bench. Well, today we're going to tie you up with the black liquid lace chironomid. Now this liquid lace is a new material out on the market, and it makes real nice chironomid bodies. Make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. For the hook, we're going to use the size 12 Mustad C49S. We'll use some UTC 70 black thread. For the body, we'll tie in some medium clear liquid lace. For the body color, we'll paint it with black Pantone pen. We'll use some golden yellow pheasant tail for the wingcase, some Peacock Herl for the thorax, and some white ostrich Herl for the gills. To start the fly off, we're going to tie in a good base layer of black thread, because what we're going to do after I get this nice base of black thread built up, we're going to actually color it with a Pantone pen, just to give it a little shine. Now that I have a good base of thread built up, I'm going to take my medium liquid lace, and now the liquid lace comes in varying sizes. It comes all the way from the very small micro size all the way up to a large, and I have the medium here. So we're going to tie this in right at the back bend of the hook and actually pull it quite hard and stretch it out so you build up so it stays very thin at the bottom. I'm going to actually move my thread up towards the eyelet of the hook, and I'm going to take a black Pantone pen. Now these are waterproof pens. They're excellent for coloring up flies. I'm going to use the thick end, and I'm just going to color up that thread. And what this does is adds just a little bit of gleam to the fly. Just allows that black to really stand out under the liquid lace. The body is now ready to be covered over with the liquid lace. And what I'm going to do is start it off by pulling this liquid lace quite hard. I want it to be very thin at the very bottom of the hook. And then as I progress up the hook, I'm slowly going to let the pressure off and allow it to, I'm not going to stretch it as much. And this is actually going to build up a little thicker body and taper the body as we get closer to the eyelet. Now the body's all tied in, I'm going to take a small clump of my golden yellow pheasant tail, and I'm actually going to tie it in backwards on the hook. I'm going to tie it and leave all the material towards the eyelet. I'm just going to tie in a small portion of it into the hook. And this will be the wingcase a little later. Now I've taken one strand of my white ostrich Herl, and I'm going to tie it in right at the eyelet. Now I'm going to take my thread back around the white ostrich Herl to the back of it and make one and just two turns. Two turns of my ostrich Herl, just to form a small little gills on the top of the fly. Take one strand of Peacock Herl and just one, and we're going to form the thorax of the fly. Tie it in just behind the white gills we just put in. And this time we'll take probably 4 or 5 wraps of our Peacock Herl, form a nice little thorax on the fly, and tie off just behind the Peacock Herl. The last step to the fly now is to take our pheasant tail we tied in earlier, bring it back towards the bend in the hook, and just tie off to form a wingcase. What we're going to do is snip off our excess material right behind there, and then whip finish just to finish the fly off right behind the thorax. And there it is, the finished black liquid lace chironomid. You know, this new liquid lace material really gives the fly a lifelike look. And when you tie the head backwards like that with the wingcase pulled back, it gives the fly that much more of a natural look in the water. Well, we want to quickly go over one of the setups we're using today. What we do is we have our chironomid on the end of the line, about a foot up, foot and a half. I've got a small micro shot, and I probably have about 16 feet of leader and tippet combined all together. And I've got strictly just the dry line. Now, I have no indicator on here. This is just what we call going naked. And all I'm doing, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to cast into the shallows, probably into about 4 feet of water. We know the fish are feeding in that 8 to 10 foot zone, and I'm going to bring the fly slowly through that zone. So all I'm going to do is make a cast, quite a bit of line, make a cast actually over where I know the fish are feeding. So I'm going to go in a little shallower, allow that fly to sink. Now here's the main part, allow that fly to sink. If you just start retrieving right away, the fly isn't going to have a chance to sink down very deep. You want that fly to be about a foot off the bottom. You want it to get down, right down near the bottom. Once I get it out there, I'm just going to slowly retrieve the line. Again, using really slow figure eights, just basic chironomid technique. But you can see I have my rod tip in the water. Very important, keep that rod tip right in the water. And you can see how my fly line is very straight. If that fly line remains straight, you're going to have a very good chance of feeling that fish take the hook. And always maintaining a real nice contact with that fly will allow you to feel the take. It's almost the same as what Grant's going to show you in a minute about his strike indicator. He's using the strike indicator, and again, it's the same kind of method, chironomiding, but a little bit different. So why don't we go over to Grant and see how he's doing with the indicator technique.
Well, I'll go through my setup. Don, of course, said he was using a system without a strike indicator. I do have a strike indicator on. I've been using one of the big yellow yarns, but I find the little orange guy, the turn-on strike indicator, works just as well here. I've got about 16 feet of leader, which makes it tough when you catch a fish to get the fish in. At the end, I've got on my size 14 chironomid, which is getting a little beaten up right now. And about a foot and a half up, I've got the lead weight, the micro shot. Again, when you get a little bit of chop on the water, just keeps that fly down and gets it down where the fish are at. So what I'm going to do now is cast out this whole rig, and the only difference with casting a big rig like this is you want to open up the loop. So you actually do want to break your wrist a little bit, get a nice wide open loop, because you got to get that strike indicator, the weight, and the fly all out there as well. Just casting it out. And then the retrieve, I've been trying everything. And we're starting to get a little bit of wind now, which of course increases the confidence level. When we weren't getting any wind at all, I was finding the best thing to do is just leave the fly there, just let it sit. When you get a little bit of wind, again, they're very slow, same retrieve, the slow figure eights, and every once in a while, give it a nice little pull. And what's fun here is with our polarized glasses on, you actually see the fish coming by, so when they're getting close, you can kind of give it a pull to get their attention and then hope for the best. Oh, here we go. Chironomiding. Yeah, we've been having a blast today with the chironomids because the fish are up on the shoals just right off the edge and you actually see them. We haven't had a lot of wind today, so it's made it really difficult. So what we've been doing is casting in. You actually see the fish go right over your fly and look at it, maybe swim away and come back. We've been trying everything to try and entice these fish into coming after the fly. Nothing has worked. What finally happened, we got the Fresky riff will come up, and it just seemed to be enough to bring the fish on. And what I also did here was I lengthened my leader. I've gone to probably about 15 feet of leader here, and that seems to have helped out as well. What a great way to do it. Just casting in, you're actually seeing the fish. Wow, they are healthy fish here, aren't they?
Oh, beautiful fish, Granny. Very nice.
Paul's got something going here. It's called Lure of the Lakes, and besides being an incredible chef, he's also got access. I think there's 62 lakes here within in an hour radius of Princeton. So we get this guy up here. Just scoop him into the net.
Oh, what a nice fish.
He barely fits.
Wow.
My hand wet. There we go. Check out this fish here. He just wants to take off on us here. As soon as he stops, I think this is a 16-inch net. So we're looking at about an 18-inch fish.
Oh, wow, that's a nice fish.
Unreal, eh? There he goes. Time to feed some more. Oh, chironomiding at its best.
Today on The Bug, we're going to talk about chironomids, also known as midges or buzzers. Chironomids are a staple food item of trout in both still waters and rivers and streams. They have a complete life cycle from an egg, larva, pupa, and adult stage. Trout have the opportunity to eat the larval, pupal, and the adult stages. The way the life cycle progresses is eggs from the females are released over the surface film of the lake, usually late in the evenings. The eggs sink to the bottom of the lake and within 5 to 7 days generally hatch into an almost microscopic chironomid larva, which looks like a segmented worm. The larvae live in the mud-water interface at the bottom of the lake in varying depths from 3 feet all the way up to 40, 50, 60, 70 feet in water. The larvae build cocoons or tubes and they feed on detritus while living at the bottom of the lake. Most chironomid have a 1 to 2 year life cycle. When fully developed, the larva will seal itself inside that tube and transform from that worm-like larval stage into the pupal stage. The pupa, when fully developed, will then cut its way out of the old larval tube and rise vertically to the surface of the lake. It traps gas under the thorax and abdomen to help it rise to the surface of the lake. Once it reaches the surface of the lake, a split will form in the back of the thorax, and all that gas that's been trapped under the body will help eject the adult into the surface film. The adult instantaneously dries its wings and flies off, and the life cycle is completed.
Looks like a good one.
Yeah.
Take a couple nice runs. Nice one. I got it on a long leader though. I got the strike indicator here. Maybe a bit of a problem getting it in the net.
That's the problem I've had too.
Oh.
But that's the only way you can get them is by going to that longer leader. That's what I found. I had to lengthen out like 15 feet.
I'm on about 16, I think. And
So we got 6 weight rods, 9 foot 6 weight. I'm using a 10 foot 5 weight, which is doing the job for me. Having that little extra length of rod helps out with the chironomiding as well. And how about leader? So you've got 16 feet, I got 15 feet. I got 4 pound test on.
I'm going with 4 pound test
Yeah,
too.
right down to 4 pound test.
Yeah.
The reason is because the conditions are so tough today. There's not much wind, the water's very clear, the fish are very spooky. So that's why we've each gone down to 4 pound. I'm pretty sure Don went down to 4 pound as well.
I think the fluorocarbon's a real key to success as well. It gives you that extra hidden advantage.
Right on, that's what we like, the Rio Fluoroflex. You know, I find it really interesting that this whole industry of fly fishing is still increasing, and there's still guys who want to get out and have a business at it. It's actually what we call Don's theory of being happy. If you like it, do it. That's Don's theory of being happy. And that's basically what you're doing here, isn't it?
That's exactly it, yeah. Just following a dream.
Following your dream. So you're just getting started.
That's right. I've loved fishing my whole life, and I've got the perfect lights, the perfect opportunity here to start something, and so far so good.
You know, I think the ticket is today for us. We're seeing all these fish in the shoals we've been fishing to and having a blast because they're coming over, they're looking at the chironomid and then turning away, and you just, anticipations. You try all these different strip techniques and try and get it in. But I think the real secret today has just been adding a little length to the leader. You're like me, just a little underpowered on the net there.
There he is.
Well, I got the catch and release net and
Nice
you just
fish.
bounce out of it. Wow. Going there, what a gorgeous fish. Oh,
Look at that chunky fish there.
wow. And you got lakes around here just full of fish just like that.
And this is just an average lake. We have some beautiful lakes with real trophy fish in.
Well, there, another great place to come and fish, another untapped resource here in the Princeton area. Paul, thanks a lot.
Well, thanks for coming. It's been great having you guys here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks a lot for the day, and congratulations on starting a new business. Hopefully, got a lot of people watch the show, come up here and experience some of this great fishing and some of the best cooking you're ever going to have. A gourmet cook. If I would have known that, I would have been back here years ago. But that's the way it
There's
goes.
always a pepper steak waiting for you on the grill.
One of our favorites.
You bet. It was great. Great day fishing. Some big fish too, and you got lakes around here that got a lot bigger fish.
It's early season, tough going in the beginning of the year, but you know, it gets a lot better as time goes on.
Yeah, and we noticed that today. You know, the water temperature started out at 48. It stayed about 48. Chironomids were coming off everywhere, but the fish are You know, they're moving around. We saw a few moving, but they really don't really key to feed until about 50, 52. That's what we found. But they're close, real close.
If we come back next week,
Another week.
yeah, you're right on. We'll be in that 52 degrees.
Oh, right on.
If you get a chance to come here, give Paul a call. You won't be disappointed, trust me. When you do, though, make sure you take care.
And conserve our waters, get a great fishery like this one here. The management up here is doing a great job, and it shows.
You bet.
Yeah.
Sure does. See you next time.
When we take you sport fishing on the fly.